Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to this podcast about Zero to Lab. We are so proud to introduce this course to all of you guys because this is something which is unique, and it's a 26 weeks of real hands-on training about CCI Lab, and that is going to be live on Zoom. I will be with you guys every week, 3 days, to make sure that we go through all the labs and get you prepared for the exam, because we are not only going to cover the theory, but also we will make sure that you do the labs. So we are very excited. How about you, Christian?
Very excited. I know already,
Yeah.
I feel already that we are going to be very busy over the next 26 weeks, but this is the first time there is something like that available worldwide. So I'm so proud that you decided to make this project. And let me ask you a few questions that can help everyone, not only myself, but everyone that will join this program. The first question is this, can you tell me more about how this program works, what happened during every single lesson, where you start from? So just give me a short description about how the program works.
I'm going to start this program with a session. I will start the session with the training of the theory, the concept. So I'll teach you a certain concept, certain part of the syllabus, CCI syllabus. And then after the training part, which is going to be roughly 1 hour, I'll give you the lab to do right there on the EVNG, which we use for virtualization. And you will be performing the lab or configuring the lab in front of me. I will be available on the Zoom session that time. So you will have 1 hour to complete the lab. So you learn the topic and you immediately do the hands-on. So that is the basic idea. So every week we are going to have 3 sessions. And in 3 sessions, I'll be teaching 3 different technologies or 3 different topics, and followed by the lab about that particular topic. So when you learn something, you will get the idea about the accuracy part, because you will have the configuration, you will have the concept in your mind, and then you will have the hands-on experience right there, because you will have to do the lab. And if you have any issues, I will be there to answer your questions. So by the time you finish your Zoom session with us for that day, not only you learn a topic, or if you already done that, you refresh that topic information, and you have also done the practical. So that way, every week we cover the topics and the associated practicals. Topics and associated practicals, we call them the labs, and we call them the single protocol labs. So what will happen is that when we finish the fundamental part, the theory part, by that time, you not only have the knowledge that how to configure things and what actually are the different parts of those particular topics, how to understand them, how do they work, but you also have the practical hands-on knowledge. So it's not a course where we will just keep on giving you the information and then you can decide if you want to practice or not, or if you have time. No, this is a commitment-based program where if you are really looking forward and very excited about doing configuration, you will not be disappointed. You will actually get the practicals every single day. And the benefit of this is that by the end of this course, not only you will be understanding all the topics, but you will be very, very comfortable in configuring them. And then, of course, we will, by the end of this single protocol lab, we will start the multi-protocol labs, where we include all the different technologies. And there is a big super lab, you can call them. And in these super labs, you will configure layer 2, layer 3 VPN technologies, and everything which is in the CCI blueprint, you will be configuring, of course, with the help of me. So anytime you have any questions, I will be able to answer those questions. So if you are thinking about taking CCI exam, but you don't feel completely prepared, this is the best course for you. If you are a student who know about networking, let's say you're on CCNA level, and you would like to get to the CCI level, this is the program for you. So I am very glad you joined this program, because you are going to get exactly what you're looking for to be completely prepared for your CCI exam. So we will cover the theory and the practicals.
Very good. So this means that this fixes forever all those problems of those boot camps of 5 days, 40 hours, because my understanding is talking to so many students every day, that the main problem is that there is no time to go into the details and to practice for the student. It's just
Right.
so much information. So you're telling me that in this program, basically is first of all about more than 150 hours in total, because it's 3 appointments per week for 26 weeks in total. So at least 150 hours, but probably more than that.
Yeah.
And half of this is dedicated to the hands-on of the students. So you're going to check the configuration at the end of each lesson, basically.
Yeah, basically what we will do is that if we take a single session, I will teach a topic, and then I'll give a lab to do about the topic after the 1 hour of theory is finished. And you will perform those that practical on EVNG. So we will make sure that you have the EVNG setup. You don't need to worry about it. We will provide you everything to get it going and running. You just need to have 16 gig of RAM in your laptop or desktop, which is what we recommend for CCI level, or minimum 8 gig of RAM for at least single protocol lab. So when you reach to the multi-protocol, you must have 16 gig of RAM for some of the SD-band technologies. But the idea is that, yeah, you start with the theory, 1 hour I'll teach you, then I'll give you the lab, you do it on the EVNG, and you don't need to send me the configuration, but I'll actually ask you the output of some show commands, which you need to send me so that I can see that you have configured things properly or not. For example, if I ask you to check the OSPF neighborship, and I'm expecting that there should be some certain neighborships up, if you have done the practical correctly, I will be able to see that in the output. So that's how I will check if your work is proper or not. Plus, the lab that we will provide you in the PDF format will also have the solution part. So every time you can also go to the solution, because again, don't think that every week you will have a test. We are not testing you, we are teaching you, we are with you to make sure that you become CCI certified. So don't have a mindset of testing yourself, have a mindset of learning. So when I teach you something and you are doing the lab, if you have to take the help of solution file, don't feel guilty, because you are learning. So at the learning time, all the help is welcome. Just make sure you do the practical, because there's a huge psychological shift when you do something, you configure something, even with help or without help. And this is the reason why we kept it only 3 days in a week, because when you learn 3 different topics, or if it's a huge topic like BGP, you learn a lot of things about BGP in 3 days. You do the practical in front of me, but then maybe you feel like I want to practice a little bit more. Then you will have 4 more days free that week to go through again the recordings, because every session will be recorded, and do the labs again if you would like to do. And get in touch with me on email if you have any issues in those 4 days when we are not having live sessions. So this is actually a perfect program, because not only you are getting the knowledge plus the hands-on, plus you are getting some breathing space to think about it, that did I get it completely, should I do it again? You do have 4 days to do that as well. It's not a 10 days boot camp where everything goes like this, and after 10 days you feel like, yes, I learned a lot and I have forgotten a lot. So we want to make sure you retain the information that you are learning.
Very good. So now the students that already are inside this program can see an overview about the program, because we decided to upload all the demo we made before, so that they can see already before starting some video about the way you present each single protocol. But can you give a description, a general description, so that everyone can understand what will happen during the first week? Can you go into the details about the first week, the first 3 lessons? What are you going to teach in the first 3 weeks, even the first 3 days?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So of course, anybody who would like to join this course, or anybody who has already joined this course, you must be thinking that how do we get started? So the very first day will be dedicated to EVNG, because the reason is that until unless you have your tools in place, you won't be able to perform your duty, right? So we want to make sure that your tools are ready. And the most important tool in this journey will be your PC with 16 gig of RAM, and EVNG properly set up on that for 0 to lab, and to understand how EVNG work. So we do have a lot of videos already recorded also how EVNG work. You can watch them. but I will actually also explain you exactly the zero to lab EVNG and how to use it. What are the different aspects you should be careful of, what should be remembered, what is the concept of taking a snapshot of the configuration to go back to it. If you have configured a lot of things, you want to go back to the base config. How do you do that? How to wipe the configuration? So the first day will be dedicated to the tool that we are going to use throughout our journey, EVNG and zero to lab into this. And if you would have any questions about your setup, to answer all those questions, to make sure that by the end of that session, your EVNG is properly set up and you are ready to fire the labs from the day number 2. The day number 2 is where we don't waste any time and directly get into the action. So we will start with the labs. So we will start with actually the CDP, LLDP. So the technology will start and the lab for CDP, LLDP, and then we will go to the VLANs and trunking on day number 3. So this will be the first 3 days. So we are not wasting any time. We will get into the action as soon as possible.
Very good. So this means that you are going to provide all the labs pre-configured to everybody, so they just start immediately practicing without wasting any time building anything on their own, right?
Yes. So basically, the idea would be, and this is something which I, because we are just launching this course now. So the idea is to make sure that for every week, let's say we have 3 sessions, means 3 labs. I am going to send all 3 labs beforehand. So you will already have the labs with you with the solution. So if you feel like you are already on the advanced level, you can do the labs before also. And in the session, you can just paste the output and you will be done. Or maybe you would like to do it again. You can do it into the session, because again, it is for learning, not for testing yourself right now. So we will provide the lab for the weeks, the labs for the whole week beforehand. You will have that information. EVNG will be already set up, except only for the first week, because in the first week, although we will send you all the labs, but EVNG setup, if you are having any issues, we will have a dedicated 2 hours for the first day to make sure that you have watched the EVNG video, you have set up the EVNG with the files we have sent you the week before, but still you are having any issues, we will make sure that we solve those issues in those 2 hours to make sure that everybody, all the students, our esteemed students, are on the same page regarding the tools, and they are ready for the day number 2, which starts with the lab. So after that, of course, every week I will send you the next 3 labs beforehand that we are going to cover the topic and the labs, so you can be well prepared about that.
Okay, very good. So another thing concerning the time for the start of each lesson, I understand that the standard time, the fixed time, is 2 a.m. UTC time. Then everyone can make his conversion to the local time zone. But my question is, how the student receive the link for joining the first live session that everyone should receive, and after that link will be always the same, they should have it in their calendar. How this works?
Okay, so we are going to use Zoom, right? So we are using the Zoom session, Zoom platform for these live trainings, and we are recording these sessions also, so you can always go through recordings if you need to, or you can request us if you think that you need a specific repeat viewing. But the idea is that we will have the same meeting. It will be a recurring meeting every week, 3 days. This meeting will be there. So the link will be same. And once I provide you the link, you can actually save it somewhere, maybe save it in your calendar, and make sure that you do show up on the correct time, which is 2 a.m. UTC. And you can convert it according to your local time zone, wherever you are in the world. And like we are in Bangkok, so it is 7 hours ahead of UTC. So we convert it according to that. So you can do it according to your time. And just make sure that you have that link saved somewhere to join every single day. You just need to click on that link and boom, you will be into the meeting. So nothing is special. And having said that, if you have any issues about that, you can definitely reach out to me and to Christian anytime.
Very good, very good. So this is a real boot camp. As far as I understand, is huge journey is
Yes.
26 weeks. So now that we spoke about the beginning, let me ask you something about the end. What happened when you finish the single protocol classic layer 2 and layer 3 labs?
Yeah.
Tell me more about these new technologies and the multi-protocol. How you cover this?
Okay, so that's a good question. Regarding first of all, the layer 2 and layer 3 are the core technologies. So we will go through all the things that we have to learn, which are there for a long time into CCIE. But after that, of course, we have new topics. So in CCIE exam, you will see that there is a diagnostic section, the first 3 hours, which is multiple choice questions, drag and drop. So it is similar to a written exam. But then the second part is the configuration lab part, which is 5 hours. And in those 5 hours, you will have 3 sections in the exam. So section one is layer 2 and layer 3, which is the biggest section. And that's why it will take more time for us also to cover all the core technologies and make sure that we learn them in depth and understand them properly. And of course, do the hands-on, lots of hands-on, as every day we will make sure you do that, right? Then comes the section 2, which is going to be the new part, the SD-WAN and the SDA, which uses DNS, Cisco DNS Center. So for these parts also, we will continue because there is still single protocol. So every day into the week, we will start with the topic like in SD-WAN, we start with the introduction. How do you actually install the licenses? How do you bring up the VH devices? How vManage connects to vSmart, connects to vBond. So the concept part will be there. So for these part, there might not be a lab every day because these are new parts, completely new topics. So we will have to make sure that you understand the in-depth technology. We want to make sure you are ready for the exam. So maybe it will be like 3 days of theory. And then we have next week, 3 days of complete practical for those parts. So this is something I can teach them, show them the practical 1 hour, and then they will do the same practical on their own. So this is how we will go for SD-WAN. And for SDA, which is Cisco DNS Center, you will see that it has a huge requirement, like 256 gig of RAM, and hundreds of processors are required on this device. So it's not very possible to virtualize it. SD-WAN is completely virtualized, and we will provide you the labs. You will be able to do it as many number of times as you like on your EVNG, on your system. That's why I said initially, you do need 16 gig of RAM. These are heavy resource required, right? On the other hand, for the SDA, I'll be able to explain you the theory, but for the practical part, we will have to use some outer labs. So for example, we will use the Cisco practice labs. Cisco has some virtualized DNS center available in the 4-hour slot. So we will take the slot in a way that we can teach them if it is possible. Otherwise, we will provide you the recorded link of the explanation. And for that part, you will have to take the Cisco practice lab sessions, the block, and use those blocks. Having said that, I think for that, you do need to show that you have already passed the NCORE exam. So you need to be sure that if you are really serious about CCIE, before we come to that part, which will be like around 17, 18 weeks from now. So you should plan to pass your NCORE exam, right? So by that time, you should pass the CCNP NCORE exam, which is a prerequisite to book the lab exam. After that, you can take the Cisco practice labs for DNS Center and practice it on your own. But of course, we have the detailed explanation and teaching into the course for DNS Center. And then comes the programmability. That will also follow the same thing. You can use your EVNG again. You don't need any external resources. I will teach you the concept, give you the lab. You just need to do the lab on the EVNG. The only issue or only thing that we can't virtualize is the DNS Center. And for that, you have to use the Cisco practice lab.
Okay, very good. And another question I have, if Cisco decides during the program to make some changes, to add something, are you going to update straight away the training accordingly, or how it works?
Well, it depends how much will be changed. But yeah, if there are any updates or any changes into the CCI curriculum, we are definitely going to include that into the program. And if we deem necessary to increase the duration, like if we find out that according to the new requirements, 26 weeks is not enough, maybe we need to have a couple of more weeks, we will give them completely free to our students. It will be bonus and it will be added weeks completely on us because something has changed and we want to make sure our students are ready for the lab. So definitely we'll do that.
Very good. So here seems that there is no excuse anymore for anyone. So we just need to finally do all these labs and to arrive to CCIE and to pass these beast and becoming CCIE engineers. So welcome to everybody to the program. So you know now, you'll know soon the starting date because Arpit will send you the email with everything, and enjoy the program, enjoy the 26 weeks, and we'll see you into the program.
Amazing. I'm also excited to meet everyone and welcome to the class.
Perfect. So thank you very much.
All right. Thanks.